Hello, Dr. Noob here again. So today we will have two tutorials in one. The one will be about wall clinging, so the character will be able to slide down the walls. And the second part would be about wall jumping, so being able to jump from a wall. Those two have somehow a dependency to each other, so that's why I will do this tutorial for both of them. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all let's start with the wall clinging. So this is actually a very easy one. In your character ability scripts you normally have this one already, else just click here on add component and then you got it. So here under wall clinging, let's see what kind of configuration we have here. So the first one is, as usual, the ability is permitted, which will be again something that I will definitely use for my Metroidvania. Then the next one is also very intuitive, and that's the slow factor. So what it means is he will take that factor of, I would say, from gravity, and will reduce it to whatever value you put in there. So let's test that. So let's test it. Now we are here and oh, you see, well, that's definitely not 0.6. The slow factor must have maybe another one and not the gravity. I don't know what he's taking, but that's definitely not half of the gravity of the falling. What I know is the moment I put it into 1, then I'm more or less falling. Let's try that. Yeah, you see, I'm no way different than just falling. It would be interesting to know what he takes as a factor. Look at that, 0.8, and he is still very slow. Okay, anyhow, it doesn't matter what he takes as reference, but in here you can change the value. And let's go for 0.1, and then it should be like, yeah, like a cat sticking on a wall. Yep, very well. So that was the slow factor. So the next thing would be the raycast vertical offset. So what is that? It means how can I explain that? Okay, so let's say the character is sliding down the wall. Then how should he detect if it's a wall? And there is a little, let's say a little hook or raycast which shows you if he's touching or not the wall. And you can have an offset, so if the character is bigger, you maybe want him to have it on, let's say, on the tail or something like that. Then you should put this offset a little bit up or down if you want that he has, I don't know, a special boots or something like that. It's better shown than explained. Let me show you that. For that you need to have the gizmos activated so that you can see it. That's the good thing about the Corgi engine. It shows you a lot of informations. So let me show you that. If we are here, then let's take a look. You see there is a small line which shows you where the character is detecting the wall. So you see, always when I'm doing the wall clinging, then this gizmo is activated. You have also the possibility to see it in here or in here. So let's say we would like to, let's make it a little bit dramatic, let's say something like 3. and do it again. Then, oh, have you seen that? It was, you see now where this line, this raycast is. So this is what the offset means. Again, this is depending on what character or whatever sprite you are using, that makes sense or not. I would say that in my case a 0 is more than enough. The next one is actually very easy also, that's the wall clinging tolerance. So let's say if you have some small hiccups. At the moment there is not much of a problem because I'm using the tile set, so it means they are all well aligned. But let's say if maybe you had to do it manually, you are not using the tile maps, maybe if you're using something like that where you can really just move around freely, then you want to maybe put the tolerance higher. I think 0.3 has worked well for me. So the next one is the automation, so input independent. What it means is the following. At the moment when I'm sliding down the wall or clinging down a wall, I have to press to the direction of the wall. If I don't push it, then it falls. And let me show you that. So I'm now pressing against the wall, and if I leave it or unleash the button, then the character falls down. In the case of the input independent automation, then I don't need to keep it pressed. It's enough that he touches the wall and I don't have to press against it. I used that actually in an Android game where you have the controller on the display itself, and so I didn't want the player on the mobile phone to have pushing against the wall. I wanted that he can just click on the jump button and go up the wall. Yep, that's it actually for the wall clinging part. So the next ability we want to look at is the character wall jump. So it does what it says, you jump from the wall. I would like to have that in my ability box. Again, it's always the same. The ability permitted is on or off. And here let's go for the first one, the wall jump force. Best is if you try it just out and tweak a little bit around. So the x-axis is more or less clear, and the y-axis also. Oops. In case you don't know, the x-axis is this one, the y-axis is this one. So in our case, he jumps 5 high, that's okay, but I would like to have him a little bit further. I would say 30 could be good, because I don't want that he should be able to jump like that on the wall. I would like that he does something like a wall jump like on Mario, but not that, you see, he cannot go up on a wall because he can just not make it. Yeah, that's more or less what I want to do. But as you know, when I'm doing my game, I will definitely tweak around these values here. So the next configuration is the force mode. So the question here is if you want this force values that you have put in here, if you want it to add to your existing force, or if you just want to set the force. In my case, I would say that I leave it. Not that it makes a much difference, but it's okay if I leave it with the add force, just in case. I love if the player has a little bit more control over the forces. The next one would be force flip towards direction. Well, yeah. So let's say you are now sliding here and you jump, if you don't put that, then the character will look into the direction of the wall. Let me show you that. So here is the character, and if I jump, you see he's looking at the wall. And if I'm not, or well, if I have this flag on, then he will or she will jump facing the direction that she's or he's jumping. Yeah, well, actually that's what I want, so let's leave that. Then the next configuration is the limitation. So do we want to reduce the number of jumps or, well, limit it even? Let's say maximum number of jumps. Let's say we only have 2 of them. Let's save that. Then we can go in here and see if it really makes a difference. So 1, 2, oh yeah, and now I cannot jump anymore. So it does what is promising with the title. Well, what is the difference between limit number of all jumps and should reduce number of jumps? Well, in this case they don't have much to do with each other. This is just another thing. To show you that is, it was needed that I go to the character jump and say we have 4 jumps, which means I have not activated it, just to show you something. What it means is I can have 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps, and I cannot have more jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. Now if I slide down, let's say here 1, 2, 3, 4. If I slide down, I have just 1 jump. Have you seen that? I was just able to jump 1 time. Okay. Now, if we activate it, then something happens. I can jump the 4 times here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You see? Now I was able to jump and have another jump, but then not anymore. It is not a very consistent logic. So it reduces the times that you jump, even if it's not a continuous jump. So he really resets only when he's grounded. It doesn't make sense for me or for my game. Maybe you want to play around with it, but for me that's okay. And yes, that's it. Now you have the wall jump and the wall clinging. And you just need to tweak around to find your best value. And that's it. So thank you very much, my friends, and see you next time. Cheers.